Jacques Germain, vampire of the French Quarters, you heard me? And the local legends say that he still roams around, the immortal vampire that once figured out how to never die. Now the story goes, in the early 1900s, a middle-aged man by the name of Jacques Germain moved to New Orleans from France, and he bought this house on Royal Street, and he started to throw these lavish parties for the city elites. Now, they say he would treat the guests with all type of lavish and fine meals, but he would never partake in eating anything. They say he would walk around the parties and only drinking red wine out of a glass. Now, during the parties, he would talk to his guests about old ancient stories, and they say that he was so detailed about these ancient times, it was like he was there at one point. Now, he claimed to be a descendant from Count Saint-Germain in the 18th century, and he was an alchemist and a musician. Now, in the house, he would actually have a picture of Count Saint-Germain, and the guests would wonder if those was actually the same person because they share similar physical details. So that physical resemblance between them two started to spark up all type of legends at the party. Now, they say he was very charming and engaging. He would basically know how to seduce all of the girls through psychic manipulative abilities. But one day, everything changed when an injured woman was found in front of Saint Germain's house. Lady jumped from the second floor balcony, so the police was summoned, and then she shared something to the police that was very shocking to everybody that was out there that was listening. Apparently, Saint Germain invited this woman inside the home, and when she got inside and just started to relax, she basically started looking over certain mantles that he had. So what she said was Saint Germain lunged at her and started to bite her on the neck. And as she was being attacked, basically somebody was knocking on the door, and throughout that moment, she was able to slip away and jump off the second floor. Now, after hearing the accusations, they spoke with Saint Germain, and he assured to them that he had made no such attack. Now, given it being a late hour, Saint Germain agreed that he would pull up to the police station the next day so he can give him his formal statement. Now, apparently the police didn't believe the girl. They was inclined to believe him because he was wealthy and had a lot of ties with the political figures inside the city. Now, this decision somehow turned out to be a mistake because the next day, Saint Germain didn't appear to go to the station. So what the police did was pulled up Saint Germain's house. Now, when they got to his house and was knocking on the door, nobody came to the door. Now, the reports say when they broke down the door and they went inside the house, all the police that saw everything was shocked. What they noticed was all of Saint Germain belongings was gone. He left the previous night. Now, as the police looked around, they saw nothing but blood stains on the carpets. He had no food, no utensils, no type of dinnerware. But they did find a bunch of corked wine bottles. Now, when they opened the wine bottles, they noticed that the wine was filled with wine and blood. So no one never knew where he fled to, and the police said he was never to be found again. Now, today, local legends say his house is still haunted, and they sometimes see him roaming around over there. And most of the New Orleans vampires that they look at him as a god. And they all say that he still roams the French Quarter till this day, you heard me?